Welcome to another episode of Discovering the Book of Mormon Through Science and Exploration. In my book, Discovering the Amazing Jaredites, I provide compelling evidence that the Jaredites built their 8 barges at the same place Nephi constructed his ship, the ancient frankincense harbor of Khor Rori in Oman. This evidence is also presented in our podcast, The Jaredites and Discovering Nephi's Harbor. So, why is this information so important? It provides a logical explanation as to how Nephi became a master sword maker. The Jaredites were highly skilled metallurgists, having the ability to make simple forms of steel from iron. Steel is needed to give iron both the strength and flexibility required for swords. The Jaredites and the Nephites were competent enough in this advanced technology that they could forge steel into swords. Artifacts made of smelted iron have been uncovered in Mesopotamia dating to circa 3000 BC. Small fragments of steel dating to 2200 to 2000 BC have been discovered in the upper Euphrates region. Professor Revere Phillips of Brigham Young University explains how iron can be forged into steel in a simple charcoal furnace. It requires a 2-step process. First, creating what is called wrought iron using what is called the direct process, starting at 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. Then second, continuing to place the wrought iron directly on oxygen-free charcoals. This produces a simple form of steel that can be used to produce swords. Since the Jaredites knew how to forge steel, they must have known this technology before they left Sumer and sailed at Khor Rori for a few years before transiting to the New World. Apparently, the Jaredites transferred this technology to the people at Khor Rori, since archaeologists from the University of Pisa have discovered 4 iron smelters and swords at Khor Rori. This illustration is found in the UNESCO World Heritage Visitor Center at Khor Rori. This photograph is of one of the corroded steel swords archaeologists have uncovered at Khor Rori. Thus, we know that the Jaredites could have known how to make simple steel and could have brought that technology to Khor Rori, where Nephi built his ship. The question begs to be asked, how did Nephi learn how to make a quality sword, like the one of Laban's, which had a blade of most precious steel? Nephi was a young lad when he left the land of Jerusalem. His family was wealthy, and he was highly educated for his time, reading and writing in more than one language. It is highly unlikely that in his era that a young son of an elite family would have toiled in manual labor. Nor he could not have mastered such competencies while casually observing others making swords. To make a steel sword like Laban's, even before refining the steel, Nephi would have had to have known the art of making charcoal without oxygen. Then he would have needed to know the exact formula how to create steel. Finally, he had to know how to multifold and hammer the steel into a sword with a sharp blade. All this would have required the mentoring of a master sword maker. I interviewed a swordsmith. He told me it would have taken Nephi months, if not years, to work beside a master sword maker in order to forge a simple sword, let alone one of the quality of Laban's. So, how did Nephi learn to make swords? It would have taken Nephi several years to build his ship. During this time, he learned how to forge iron tools. He had master sword makers in the very harbor where he was constructing his ship. He had the time and the technology to learn how to make swords. Nephi's acquiring of the skills of a swordsmith at Khor Rori was no accident. The Lord knew that Nephi would need to have this knowledge when he settled in the Promised Land and had to defend his family. Discover more about the Book of Mormon by subscribing to this channel. You can do so very easily. It is free, and just click the link below. Or you can visit our website, christandperu.com. That's one word, christandperu.com, where you can learn about our books and also our tours to Peru. Thank you.